Whenever spring comes around, it's not uncommon to get that itch to put on your gardening gloves and get planting. But while practicing patience for the right weather, Botany Manor may help satiate your excitement. It's a cozy first-person puzzle game that puts a blank herbarium book in your hand and asks you to grow different plants until the pages are full. It has a short and sweet story that safely sits surface level, but its witty mysteries are engaging enough to keep you happily digging for more. Botany Manor puts you in the boots of retired botanist Arabella Green as she returns to her grand and adorably stylized English manor in 1890s Somerset. Each puzzle is a fictional plant waiting to be grown, with clues scattered around that help you tend to each new seed type. These can start simple, like Phlegaria, which needs flashes of lightning to bloom. But clues increase in complexity and quantity in order to bring these whimsical plants to life. Real-world science and the game's time period both inspire unconventional growing methods, such as needing to play the buzzing sound of Morse code for a certain seedling. Botany Manor may not feel like a lesson in actual plant science, but the nature of it is pleasantly surreal. Picking up the first packet of seeds at the potting bench reveals an imprint of a fictional plant called windmill wort, with slots for 3 clues waiting to be found nearby. From the start, it's evident that these clues will not only help solve this puzzle, but also string together a much larger story about Arabella and the manor she lives in. Heat and wild flower charts on a chalkboard will direct you towards the right temperature to grow the windmill wort, which then blooms into a lovely pink flower that literally spins like a windmill to clear up smog. Smartly tying into a newspaper you can read that discusses the issues of the era's recent industrialization. Some information can take an embarrassingly long time to decipher, with head-scratching theories putting your memory to the test. Chapters in the herbarium tell you what clues you found and where to find more, but it doesn't save the more specific information from them. So if you forgot what that pamphlet in the attic said, you have to walk back to examine it, which makes Botany Manor feel a lot like a walking simulator. It can even feel necessary to keep physical notes on discoveries while tirelessly retracing your steps several times to reread or flip around clues, which, gets a little tedious. But it helps that icons will pop up when you walk past them to let you know you can examine it, and musical cues acknowledge that you're on the right track. Between solving plant mysteries, you'll occasionally visit the front gate to pick up a key or decrypt secret locks to access a new area, which helps cut down the otherwise repetitive nature of the roughly 6-hour campaign. Each new section of the manor had distinctively pretty characteristics, and in them awaited more interesting items to find. Clues became progressively more creative, and it was always fun to find pamphlets, bottle labels, advertisements, and other environmental details full of vintage charm. Even the books about art sitting on the garden tables made the space all more quaint, and were later upstaged by a dreamy painting room. Botany Manor beckons you with strange ideas and picturesque scenery in every challenge, but Arabella's story trails behind. Rather than telling her tale through characters and spoken dialogue to tell its overarching story, it opts for written notes on pretty stationery and significant items that appear in Arabella's life. Arabella is a strong-willed botanist who has suffered unjust rejection in her field, but these notes and letters fail to dig deep into her emotions. Even letters from family, friends, and groundskeepers have the potential to create intimate moments, but are instead easily forgettable in the hunt for clues. The manor is clearly not abandoned either, as fire burns beneath the stove in the kitchen, but the space feels as if everyone left at the drop of a hat. It's a bit odd, but it does work in that it prevents any distractions from the puzzles themselves. And after all, Arabella needs to focus to get this herbarium published and earn her rightful flowers as a woman in STEM. Clever clues entwine with Botany Manor's charming old English setting to make a lighthearted first-person puzzler worth tending to. Figuring out how to grow its fantastical plants keeps you on your toes, and the blossoming flora, painting onto the pages of your herbarium with bright colors, provides a comforting sense of achievement. Deciphering its puzzles was more engaging than reading the notes and letters that make up its fairly one-note story, but the variety of surreal seeds with unique traits in each new area gave an exciting cadence to the somewhat repetitive act of tracking down clues. Botany Manor is a laid-back game that doesn't ask you to do too much, simply grow some strange plants and decompress, and sometimes that's exactly what you need. For more, check out our reviews of Open Roads or Backpack Battles, and for everything else, stick with IGN.